Hello students, my name is Murphy and I'm going to be helping you out with your English syllabus. Now I know English may seem tough for a lot of you and for some of you maybe it's not that difficult. But for all of you, the good news is that there's nothing to worry about. Because when it comes to CBSE, English is on the surface of it. It's as simple as it can be. So don't worry, I'm here and I'm going to help you out step by step with your chapters and your poems. Cool? Alright, so let's begin. And for today's lesson, I'll begin with the first poem of our syllabus, and that is My Mother at 66. Now, this is a very beautiful, beautiful story, and it's something all of us can relate to. बचपन से हम सब के अंदर एक डर हमेशा रहा है. All of us have had a fear within us growing up. वो हमारे सपनों में आया है. It has come while we are awake and we sometimes just drift into our thoughts and we think about it. What is this fear? This fear, which is common in all of us, is the fear of losing our parents one day. And there is nothing we can do about it. ये भी हमको पता है. You know, we know that there will come a time when our parents will no longer be with us. And that thought, that image just scares us. How many times have I woken up at night just crying that, oh my god, because I saw them, pass on in my dreams. और मुझे पता है कि ये तुम सबके साथ हो रखा है. It's something we all go through. And this same fear has been beautifully captured by Kamala Das in this poem, My Mother at 66. It's a very short poem where she's returning back to her work from home. She went home for the holidays to meet her parents, and while she's going back, she suddenly realizes that her mum has become quite old. And there will come a time that when she comes back home, she may not see her mother again. So without wasting more time, let's get on with our poem and see what she says about this problem. My Mother at 66. Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday, I saw my mother beside me, toes open-mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse, and realized with pain that she looked as old, that she was as old as she looked. But soon put that thought away and looked down at young trees sprinting, the merry children spilling out of their homes. But after the airport's security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale, as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache, my childhood's fear. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. And all I did was smile and smile and smile. That's it. A short, simple poem. But now, let's get into it to see what kind of poetic devices has Kamala Das used to beautifully explain this pain that she's feeling, this fear that she's feeling. तो शुरू करें. My Mother at 66. So I'm going to be using a lot of such shortcuts, okay? But please, during the exams, write in full spellings. No shortcuts, no at the rate, no numbers. In English, even when you write a number, it has to be in words. Cool. So, poetic devices. What are poetic devices? Sometimes just to make something beautiful yet simple, we use symbols. We compare them to things. Like for example, if I tell you that you are as brave as a lion, I don't have to go into long explanations to tell you how brave you are. Just comparing your bravery with that of a lion's bravery is good enough to tell anyone around us that you are a very brave person. So it is this example, this line, as brave as a lion, is a poetic device called a simile. Pardon my handwriting, I'm not used to writing on the screens. So a simile is when, in fact, I'll introduce the other devices too. You have a metaphor and you have personification. There are more, but for this chapter, let's just focus on these three. All three devices are used to bring about a comparison. All of them. But the difference is that it's in the style of comparing, it's how you compare. In the case of a simile, we compare the quality of another object or entity or being with a particular aspect. So, for example, in this poem, the poet says that her face ashen like that of a corpse. I'll write it down here. Ashen like that of a corpse. Now, do you know what a corpse means? A corpse refers to a dead body. कभी एक लाश को देखा है? I mean, I'm sorry if you have seen one, but if you in the movies, if you have seen one, you'd see that a corpse, a dead body, usually has no color on it because the blood is completely frozen over. So usually when a person dies, the glow that you see on the skin, the glow that you see on the face, on the hands, you know, the bright color, you could be dusky, you could be fair, you could be wheatish, it doesn't matter what color you are, but there's a vibrance to your skin. That goes down and becomes almost ashen. What does ashen mean? Ashen refers to ash, rak. You know, ash is usually grey in color. It's very mellow, very dull. So when she says that her face was ashen like that of a corpse, she's trying to say that her mother is so old and her face is so pale that it's almost the color of ash or almost ashen, like a corpse. So over here, what we have done is that we have compared the word, the quality of ash, that is being dull and colorless, and compared this quality to the mother's face and that of a corpse. In the case of a metaphor, agar yahi line, the same line I had to make like a metaphor, I would say that she was a corpse, or I won't say was a corpse, but was like a corpse. So over here, we haven't used any quality. There is no adjective or any quality used. We have directly compared it to a corpse. This is a metaphor. So the difference between a simile and a metaphor is, in the case of a simile, we compare it with a specific quality of an object or a being. Like in the earlier example, I said as brave as a lion. So we are comparing the bravery. When I say you are a lion, it's not just talking about the bravery, it's talking maybe about the ferocity, it could be talking about the strength, it could be talking about the pride, it could be anything about a lion, or everything about a lion. So when we do a direct comparison, she was like a corpse, that is a metaphor, and when we compare with a quality, that's a simile. Can you guess what are the metaphors here in the poem? There's a beautiful metaphor over here. I'll give you a hint, it's in the second verse. So for all of you who have guessed it, it is late winter's moon. So over here, the poem compares her mother to the late winter's moon. Not to any particular quality, just the entire moon in itself. But why late winter's moon? What is this referring to? If we look at the entire year, the 4 seasons, spring, summer, autumn and winter, We can see this like the lifespan or the age of a human being. During the time of spring, everything is born and everything is young and fresh, like that of a baby, like a child. Summer is vibrant and energetic, like life, like youth. So summer can be compared to to the youth, to young adults. Then you have autumn, where everything starts falling off. Like middle age, where you see a lot of us men tend to lose our hair. Not all, don't worry, but quite a few. So autumn is like the middle age, where leaves fall, where you're not as energetic and young as before. And then finally you have the winter, which is like the old age, where everything is white, like your hair. Everything is slow, everything is calm. All the energy has gone down. The poet realizes that her mother has entered the winter of her life, which is the old age. And when you say late winter's moon, it means really old, like really late, right? Also, why moon? There's something special about the moon. Like the four seasons, the moon also has a cycle. If you ever looked up at the sky, you would notice that when the moon first is born, you just see the crescent. And then slowly it keeps on increasing till it becomes a full moon. And then again, slowly it starts waning away till it becomes no moon. जहाँ पे मतलब, the moon kind of hides itself. That again is like the age, right? Where you are born, you're small, and then you keep growing, and you come to your full size, you come to your prime, you're bright and energetic. And then again, slowly you start growing old and becoming, less and less vibrant. So the late winter's moon refers to, in simple words, the end of the age, that is old age. Now the next step is only to move on. And finally we come to personification. Personification, the hint lies in the name itself, person. This is a tool used when we give life to something that is non-living. So in this poem, can you find anything which is technically, not a person, it's not human, but we have given it an emotion or an action of a human being, of a person? Can you find it? Let's take a look. And it is young trees sprinting. Now a lot of you might say that trees are not non-living. They are living. Yes, you're right, they are living, but they are not persons, they are not people, right? So you can definitely have young trees. You have saplings, you have plants, you have young trees, you have old trees, because even they grow old. But you don't have trees that sprint. Now what does sprinting mean? Sprinting is an action that means running fast. Have you ever seen a tree run really fast? I think the only plant that can move, now I'm not a botanist, but I think the only plant that can move is a Venus flytrap, and maybe a few other leaves that tend to just shake here and there. But I don't think there are trees that can pick up their roots and run. So when the poet talks about young trees sprinting, the image comes in the mind of, like a cartoon जहाँ पे पेड़ ऐसे जड़े उठा के भाग रहे, they're running. So this is called a personification. When you make something that is inanimate matlab that is not movable, something that is non-living or not a person, when you give it qualities of a human being. So here you go, the poetic devices of this poem: simile, metaphor, and personification. Now I'm going to go into the theme and the important lines of this poem, and finally end with just the verse to verse explanation. Cool? What is the major theme of this poem? As we've already discussed, and you may have gotten to know by now, that the major theme is the fear of losing your parent. or any loved one. This fear is also called childhood fear. Then another theme is basically growing old or aging. So let's move forward to the important lines of this poem. Now there are two very important aspects in this poem. One is what the poet calls familiar ache. This, as you described above, ache means pain. The pain that you feel within you, right? So familiar is something that is you already know of, something you have felt before. Jana pehchana. So what is this familiar ache that she's talking about? This familiar ache is basically the same as the childhood fear, which is the pain or fear of losing your parents. The second most important phrase over here is smile and smile and smile. You can almost imagine like a Hindi movie, na? Like जहाँ पे एक्टर या एक्ट्रेस कहती है कि और मैं बस मुस्कुराती गई और मुस्कुराती गई और मुस्कुराती गई. Very dramatic, very poetic. But here, the three smiles have a very deep meaning. Alright, so let's read the last lines to understand this. But all I said was, see you soon, Amma. All I did was smile and smile and smile. The three smiles here refer to or show: 1. Helplessness. There is nothing you can do to prevent this fear from coming true. There will come a time when the poet will lose her mother. She cannot stop that. Okay, so she's helpless, but she doesn't want her mother to see her worry. She's saying she's at the airport, she's leaving, so she doesn't want her mother to worry that why is my daughter upset. So the other reason for saying smile and smile and smile is because she's basically trying to hide the fear. And the last and the most important aspect is the hope. The hope that when she comes back, she will get to meet her again. Because in such a situation, all you can do is hope. Cool? So now, quickly, we're going to go verse by verse. There are only 2 verses here. So we're going to go verse by verse to understand the poem. And keep these few things in mind. 1, the fact that this is a childhood fear of losing your parents. 2, that there's this helplessness that there's nothing you can do about it. So all you can do is hope that for as long as you can, you'll get to see them, be with them, meet them, spend time with them. And 3, that all the similes and metaphors over here are used to basically make it very clear, to bring in front of our eyes how old her mum is and that how soon she will move on or she will pass over. Pass over is a nice way of saying that she will die. Right. So, ready? Driving from my parents' home to Cochin last Friday morning, I saw my mother beside me, doors open-mouthed, her face ashen like that of a corpse. Here comes your simile. So, she's going away from her parents' home, she's going towards the airport, and her mother, while she's driving, her mother's beside her. So chuki hai gaadi mein, she's like sleeping. And that's when suddenly it hits the poet that my mother is old. Because her mum, though she's sleeping, she almost looks like a dead body, like a corpse. And realized with pain that she was as old as she looked, but soon put that thought away. So ekdam se wo laga, at once she felt that pain that, oh my god, my mom's so old. But then she put that thought away, ki nahi sochna mujhe, I don't want to think about this. Right? And to distract herself, what does she do? and looked out. तो खिड़की के बाहर देखती है. And what does she see? She sees young trees sprinting and merry children spilling out of their homes. Do you know why she specifically mentioned this? I'll write this down for you. She specifically mentions this because this is called a juxtaposition. Now, what is a juxtaposition? Don't worry, I'll first write the spelling down for you. This is called a juxtaposition, or you can say juxtapose. Juxtaposition is when you take two opposite situations and place them together to create a comparison. So, when she looks towards her mum, she sees an old lady, almost like a corpse. What are the words she used to describe? Ashen, I'm going to rewrite this word because my handwriting is not beautiful. Ashen, what else is there? And she was lying down, doors open mouthed. Doors matlab, half sleep, and open mouthed. Like, she's just lying down, sleeping in the car. When the poet sees outside the window, she sees young trees, nice green, beautiful trees, sprinting by. Now, all of you who have ever sat in a train, you have noticed that the moment the train starts moving, it seems that the platform is moving. That the train is there and the platform is moving. कभी ऐसे महसूस किया है? It's a very, very strange feeling where you think that this train is stationary and the platform is gradually going away. So similarly, in a moving vehicle, basically the car is moving really fast, but when she looks out the window, it seems like the trees are running away very fast, right? And then she sees children. On one hand you have an old lady, and then suddenly you have children, two very opposite ages, and the action used to describe them is spilling outside their homes. What does spill mean? कभी जब पानी भरते हैं, when you fill water in a glass and it overflows, the water spills out. So if you can just try and imagine the action is basically bursting, like एकदम से बाहर आना. So you can again imagine like a cartoon that there's this house full of children and इतने सारे बच्चे, there's so many children that they're just spilling outside the house, they're just bursting out. फूट के बाहर आ रहे हैं. So this action again is a very energetic action. It's a very energetic action. So everything that she is seeing is in a very strong contrast to her mother. On one side you have someone who has got no energy, who is sleeping, lazy, almost looks like a corpse. And on the other side you have something that's very young and vibrant and energetic. So two opposite situations. This is called a juxtaposition. Moving forward. But after the airport security check, standing a few yards away, I looked again at her, wan, pale as a late winter's moon, and felt that old familiar ache. Again, she's used words to describe her mother's age. Wan, pale, winter's moon. All of these things that signify old age. Wan means the same as pale. It's when everything is dull, lifeless, not bright. And she felt that old familiar ache. Look at the words. She says, old familiar ache. Old doesn't mean Buddha, doesn't mean age wise old. Old means something that she's felt for many, many years, maybe as a child, like all of us have. And that is why it is called familiar. One very typical question that comes in the exams and boards is, what does she mean by familiar? What is this familiar ache? Familiar means jana pehchana, something that is already known. It's called an old familiar ache, and as I said, ache means pain. Another word is a synonym for pain. Old familiar ache refers, you can say, to the childhood that all of us have had this fear since we've been children of losing our parents. So what is this old familiar ache? This pain that she's feeling is the loss of her parent. That the kind of pain she will feel. She hasn't lost her parent yet, but how will she feel? What she will feel when she does lose her? And that because she hasn't felt it right now, it is still a fear. अभी तक वो बस एक डर है. It's not a reality, but the thought of it is also very painful. And finally she says, but all I said was, see you soon, Amma. Even this one simple line shows hope. जब तुम किसी को कहते हो, see you soon, what are you trying to say? You're saying, ना फिर मिलेंगे. We will meet again. That just tells the person that don't go anywhere. When I come back, I want to see you. And that's what she's telling her mum. It's a line, see you soon. It's a simple line that basically is saying that I will see you again. That when I come back, you will be here. It's a hope. It's her wish, right? And then all she does is smile and smile and smile. So that one, she doesn't worry her mother, that her mother doesn't see that मेरी बेटी उदास है, like she doesn't want to see that she doesn't want her mother to worry about her being sad. So she's hiding the pain and fear. She's smiling to again hide the helplessness that she's feeling, because this situation, as I said earlier, is nothing we can do about it, and all we can do is hope. The smile also shows hope that when she returns to meet her parents, she will meet them again. And that, boys and girls, is the end of the first poem. Would you like to go through the questions and answers? I think we have covered most of it, so let's just quickly brush through them. What is the kind of pain and ache that the poet feels? The poet feels the pain of the fear of losing her parents, losing her mother. Why are the young trees described as sprinting? Sprinting, which means running fast, is an action that shows a lot of energy, something that is connected with being young. She has used this to show a contrast with her mother, who is now very old and does not have that kind of energy anymore. Why has the poet brought in the image of the merry children spilling out of their homes? Again, children and the action of spilling out are both denoting young, life, something that's new and fresh, as compared to the mum who is now old and fragile and delicate and, nearing the end of her life. Why has the mother been compared to the late winter's moon? If seasons were age, then winter is old age. And in the late winter, the moon is usually finishing its cycle. So both these images are talking about the end of a lifetime and an end of an age, basically old age. What do the parting words of the poet and her smile signify? The parting words, which is see you soon, and the smile signifies the hope the poet has that when she returns, she will meet her mother again. they also are hiding the fear and the pain that she's feeling inside, because she knows there's nothing she can do to change the situation. So, if all is well, I would like to say goodbye now. If you have any questions, any comments, please drop it in the link, and I will see you soon. Every poem in this book was for roughly 3 to 4 marks. The two questions, the main fragments of this poem are the familiar ache and the aspect, the last parting words and the smile. This is usually what comes in the exams, and they come for 1 to 2 marks each. So though there is a change in pattern this year, so you can either expect a 2 mark or a 1 mark question, which will most probably be this, or the poem will, one verse will come and 4 questions of 1 mark each. Please remember the poet's name. It's very important for you to know who wrote this poem. The poem is called My Mother at 66, and the poet is Kamala Das. Thank you very much.